This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Hello and welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Wednesday, October 30th. I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay. I'm Tori. We made it to the halfway mark.
Yes.
All right, let's get to it. Well, it really feels like the Trump impeachment showdown is about to reach a boiling point yesterday. I want to introduce you to this man, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. He reportedly testified that the transcript of the call between Trump and the president of Ukraine, you know, the one that they released, left out crucial words and phrases. Meantime, the president and his allies are attacking the Iraqi war veteran. Take a look.
Now, wait a second, John. Here we have a U.S. national security official who is advising Ukraine while working inside the White House, apparently against the president's interest, and usually they spoke in English.
You know, some people might call that espionage.
And some people might call Laura Ingraham rude, but some are defending the Army officer who was awarded a Purple Heart, including Republican and Dick Cheney's daughter, Liz Cheney.
We need to show that we are better than that as a nation. Their patriotism, their love of country. We're talking about decorated veterans who have served this nation, who have put their lives on the line, and it is shameful to question their patriotism, their love of this nation, and we should not be involved in that process.
I mean, I thought the one thing that was bipartisan was we respect our military veterans with all due respect for their patriotism.
Only when it's time to yell at Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
That's when we care about our troops.
Yeah.
When it's time to fix our VAs or help with the homeless problem, our troops are half of the homeless, we suddenly don't support them as much.
That's a good point. How do you feel?
I don't think that we should question a lieutenant colonel. I think that was wrong. But I do think that everything has been secretive and convoluted, and people just want answers. Like the same reports that came out about about the recent testimony came out that Schiff, who's overseeing the whole thing, is constantly cutting people off and leading witnesses. And so since nobody's actually in there and reporting it to us, we don't have all the facts. And I think people just want to know what exactly is going on, right? Because this impeachment, if we want it to move further, is going to have to be opened up to the public and see exactly what's being said.
What we do have is this administration attacking another man of character in our military. This guy has a Purple Heart. He's they were talking about espionage. He's in the National Security Council. It's literally his only job to talk to Ukraine. The reason he's talking to Ukraine is about the aid we send them because Russians will attack them. So withholding that aid is literally going to get people killed. But clearly with Turkey, we don't care about that. That's his job, is to talk. But do you see how they spun it? So it's like, look at the draft dodgers that we have going after our General Mattis, one of the maybe the most famous general we have. We have like Dick Cheney, draft dodger, Trump, draft dodger, but yet we constantly side with these people, and I really don't understand why. Like, can somebody explain to me why we listen to the draft dodgers? Tom DeLay literally said he would have gone to Vietnam, but the minorities took his spot. He literally is quoted been saying that. And he's a patriot, and this Purple Star gentleman is not.
I think you're right.
We sat there and watched Trump trash a Gold Star family member that was killed on his way to becoming a president. No one said anything, and this is continuing. And saying that he was born in the Ukraine, it's the same kind of anti-immigrant bigotry. Almost came out the wrong way.
Almost there, guys.
Bigotry, I meant to say bigotry, that we have seen over and over again. It's the same way that Mexican judge couldn't preside over his case because he said that he's Mexican and can't do his job.
And Obama was Kenyan.
Yes,
same
it's the same narrative over and over again.
Well, we want to know for what you guys think. You clearly know how we all feel. So write in Facebook, YouTube, the DBL page. We're going to read comments and really talk to you during the break, so please write in. All right, was Jeffrey Epstein killed? Well, the disgraced financier—
I didn't know if that was a rhetorical question.
I know, who was under investigation for federal sex trafficking charges, was found dead, you remember, in his jail cell on August 10th. But now a former medical examiner who observed his autopsy is claiming he might have been killed.
I think that the evidence points toward homicide rather than suicide.
Why?
Because there are multiple 3 fractures in the hyoid bone, the thyroid cartilage, that are very unusual for suicide and more indicative of strangulation, homicidal strangulation.
Okay, so I think he was murdered for sure. I think if it smells like a duck, it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck.
Well, you watch a lot of Clue.
And I also know, and I watch a lot of Clue, and the hyoid bone is so normally done when someone from the front is strangling you that it's very different from when a person is hanged. So do you think he was killed?
I don't think we can leave out the fact that he was on suicide watch in the past. And I know that he was off of it, but he was on it. So that means somebody who was going to commit suicide could possibly do it again. So we have to just examine this whole thing, stepping back and getting rid of the conspiracy theories.
Well, some people think the first suicide was a homicide attempt.
When you're on suicide watch, you don't just get taken off of suicide watch and no one just keeps up with you at all anymore. You have cameras in there. You have people who are supposed to come by and check on you every X amount of minutes. They didn't do that. And this guy also goes on to say that the doctor who was in charge of the procedure at that time when that autopsy first came out said that it didn't look like there was enough evidence or info for a suicide. So here's why the conspiracy is so strong right now, because it's like those connections Jeffrey Epstein used in 2008 to get that great plush plea deal that he had down in Florida. Now it looks like those same connections can't help you here. In fact, they want you killed to silence you so you don't mess up the world that they have with all the monster and predatory stuff that they have going on.
So you're saying that Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, Trump, all these people he's connected to got him killed?
I can't name names, but all those people, yes, that are connected with him, that were on those parties, flying in those young girls that don't want this information getting out, yes, they probably allegedly had him killed.
Sometimes I don't believe your conspiracy theories, but the DBL Nation, not a single comment in saying that he wasn't murdered. So if you do believe that, please write in, because we're getting a flood.
Do you think
of
it's a
people
conspiracy, or you just want all the facts? Because I don't know either.
Because it sounds like, I mean, this man had
no one knows.
We want to hear this great story that is like a book. It reads like a novel, right? So Bill Clinton had something to do with it. And it's just like that might not be the case.
We called him getting killed the second he got arrested. Yes. People knew he wouldn't make it to court. There is no way that guy is speaking. He got almost killed twice. This guy was going to be killed from the day.
I mean, it's the premise of so many movies. It's like there's a key witness that the lead has to keep safe until they can get to court. That's kind of there's a reason why.
It's a poorly written sitcom, exactly. Well, a man
poorly written. That was the whole premise of The Wire.
Well, that was a well-written. Wasn't that so good?
That was so good. I miss it.
I wish it's so. It's so good. A man was climbing Mount Fuji in Japan, and like so many people these days, he was live streaming it so people could follow along. But then this happened. The man appears to, if you watch Slip, he begins falling. The whole thing was now caught on camera. And I have to report, unfortunately, he was about 9,800 feet up at Mount Fuji. Authorities have now recovered a body. Unfortunately, he live streamed the fall right before. He said it's slippery. I don't know if this is the right way. This is dangerous.
It's
and
the
then
tallest
fell.
mountain, in the country, and it's just scary because he also said, or this is reportedly translated, it said, my fingers are cold, but I have to operate my smartphone, like telling his viewers and fans, this is what I have to do. Like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're getting too far into, is this Instagram or social media, whatever platform he was on, the culture where you have to show people exactly what you're doing and even risk your life doing it. I mean, 800 people have died at the Grand Canyon in the history of people going there to visit. That's a lot.
You say no, he doesn't have to readjust his smartphone. Yes, he does, because he's doing it for the gram. He's doing it for the likes. And this is the culture we're in. And I was just watching that fall. Imagine falling and you don't see the ground. You see clouds beneath you.
Yeah.
That's how high that guy was.
It is horrifying.
But I feel as though people are going to watch these extreme live streams because they're tired of watching Bear Grylls or Man vs. Wild while it's so produced.
I think it goes deeper than that, Brandon. I mean, you think about it. I heard somebody say one time, I wish I was so clever as to have said it, but it said a lot of people have fought bulls. No one ever did it when no one was there. People do it because since the beginning of time, human beings, all of us, like to see death-defying people jumping out of planes and people.
Car crashes, train
Why did that show Jackass was super popular? Those guys doing crazy because people like to see it. I don't know what it is.
Technology, GoPro, something. Why would you risk your life holding your phone?
I agree.
The likes.
A lot of people wrote in actually on DBL Facebook that why not just use a GoPro?
Yeah, there's so many attachments to your body and go with the team. I don't know.
And also be skilled. I don't like he didn't know where he was on the mountain. He was at the summit.
Why not do like I did when I saw Mount Fuji? Look at it, say that's beautiful, and then go into a subway.
That's a good idea.
Should be on a postcard.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we do have some sad news to report here. Actor and comedian John Witherspoon has died. He was 77 years old, appearing in movies like Friday, Next Friday, and many more. John was one of the hardest working men in Hollywood. He is survived by his wife, 2 sons, and an extremely loving and large family. Al, you actually knew the man.
I did.
Well.
I knew John early in my career. He used to come through to the Miami Improv, and we worked together for years. He's a friend of mine and somebody I'll miss. He's just a real, we always talk about like just a decent guy.
Yeah.
Decent guy, worked literally until the day he died, put all his kids through school, through private school, and just really a true entertainer. He would go out and he would always tell me he would just when he went on stage, he would always just do all the lines from all the movies that people want to see, because he was like, that's why people are buying tickets, let's be real, but he was also a comic, so he'd go out there and bang, 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 and do all the lines from House Party and all the movies.
I was gonna say House Party.
Yeah, and then do in Friday, and then go and do his act, and he was just a really classy guy and like one of the last true performers. I just love comics. Carlin did it, I think, until 2 weeks before he passed away. Don Rickles had dates on the books at 93 years old.
Wow.
So like, yeah, comedians, they
don't stop.
They go. Joan Rivers as well.
Elaine Stritch, I was gonna say, these people don't stop.
All these guys, yeah. So it's a tragedy, but he lived such a great life, and I was honored to know.
That's amazing. And he made a lot of people laugh.
Yes, he did.
True. Well, DBL is live, and coming up, a mom's mission to help all children with special needs, how her twin boys inspired her ahead in Heart Threads. And you're the viewer, you're our 5th host. More and more kids are participating in active shooter drills at school. Are they helping, or are they giving people a lifetime of anxiety? Your comments are coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. Do you remember the duck and cover drills from the 50s? I bet a lot of you do. Well, today's students are faced with a variety of much more extreme life-saving drills. So a Florida high school simulated an unannounced active shooter drill that left students and teachers shaken. Another school covered student actors in blood during a simulation, and one right here in Colorado encouraged kids to prepare to fight the shooter with school supplies that they should grab. So, DBL Nation, it's time for you to become our 5th host. Are these extreme drills good, or are they just giving our kids a lifetime of anxiety? Let's get right to your comments, Lindsay.
All right, Tracy says they don't help. The kids are worried about who could be a shooter, not their schoolwork. My youngest is terrified that she might not be able to help her friend or her sister. It's scary. And I agree. I think that they're over the top. Just in August in Indiana, they were shooting teachers execution style with pellet guns, and one of them got hurt, and they received a lot of backlash for it. So how far is too far? How far are we going with these drills?
Yeah, I agree. Janet says, would they rather be somewhat prepared or not at all? This is the world we're living in. I agree with you, Janet. This is the world we're living in. I don't think smearing a 7-year-old with blood, I'm not feeling that, but in the same sense, there's a reason. Like, we can say like, oh, this is only 1 out of every million.
614 million.
Okay, I understand
614 million.
Okay, I understand that, but what's the first thing parents and teachers say when it actually does happen to a school? We could have never guessed this would happen in our small town, or at a country concert, or at a movie theater.
With it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just not putting blood on a 7-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like listening to Lindsay's point about just the 1 in 614 million. That'd be like almost like having drills about what to do if you win the lottery.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see.
Yep.
Jackie, that's my mama's name. Great name. Jackie says, this is ridiculous. You tell toddlers that the stove is hot. You don't invite a friend over who has a burn scar and simulate them getting horrifically burned while screaming out in pain to get the point across.
So smart.
Wow, Jackie, well said. And if I was leaning towards Lindsay's side, I think you pushed me all the way over. I agree with what you just said, and I think that, you know, we should, if we are going to teach, we might just use our words, especially with young kids. I don't know if we need the Hollywood stunt makeup. That's a little weird and
not
scary.
Only in this article they said for a fire drill, instead of the normal ones, they simulated actual smoke flooding in, so the kids had to crawl through the smoke.
But that's what happens during a fire. It's not grab your stuff, sit in a single file line, and calmly walk to the exit. You're gonna get burnt.
I agree, but I don't think a 7-year-old needs to go through a simulated smoke alarm test.
What do you think happens during a fire, Tori?
I think that they can show calmness and teach that. Well, Patricia says we had bomb drills. We hid under desks and and closed big, dark drapes all while sirens blared. We weren't traumatized. Exactly. Those are very appropriate, or I don't think duck and cover was appropriate, but those are very acceptable and rational for children. The blood, the simulations, the pellet guns. Guys, you're creating a group of children that feel like the sky is falling at all time. We have producers with kids in this room that have that kind of feeling. You don't want to live in fight or flight as a 7-year-old the rest of your life. So do drills that make them more age appropriate. All right, well, we have spin-off news for Game of Thrones fans. Raquel, is it happening?
Well, Tori, it's complicated. Lots of updates in the Game of Thrones world. Now, the hyped prequel starring Naomi Watts is no longer happening. HBO reportedly passed on the series after a pilot was shot earlier this year. It was supposed to take place thousands of years before the original show, but it looks like HBO is working on a 10-episode series called House of the Dragon, taking place 300 years before. Now, when it comes to spinoffs, it looks like the competition is as tough as getting onto the Iron Throne.
Can I just say, and I love Game of Thrones, you came to my house and watched it. I'm a little bit like, let's just leave it for right now. Right?
I thought Game of Thrones was so popular that nothing would get shut down.
People were so mad about season 8, I think that. I don't know.
So here's a spinoff. Let's do a story from the White Walker's eyes. We've done it from King's Landing and
that would just be that other show. What's it, Walking Dead?
Yeah.
That's true.
Also, the White Walkers are really boring and don't talk.
So
that might be Brandon's boring episode.
Good job, Brandon.
People
Coming up
walking
on
for 60 minutes.
Creative costumes just in time for Halloween, like White Walkers. We're showing you some of the best ones we found online. And a special gym for special kids. Discover why the sensory place is just what families need. Next in Heart Threads.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about how a big idea can make an even bigger impact. Meet a mom who helped kids with special needs thrive in a welcoming environment.
This mom knows what it's like to raise children with special needs. So she made a special place for kids like hers to play and relax. Jen Johnson used to struggle with special care for her twin sons.
Both of my children have special needs. I was spending thousands of dollars out of pocket for non-covered services. And so this really, I wanted a place that I could supplement that, try to make this an affordable option.
Creating the sensory place was Jen's answer to her own struggles and the struggles of other parents of kids with special needs.
We have customers that tell us, their kids had a meltdown at a play place and they were asked not to come back, or maybe police were called, or those type of things. And if that happens here, we understand. We wait for the child to recover and they go about their play.
The gym has specialty equipment usually found in professional therapy rooms, which helps children with speech, physical, and sensory disabilities. Jen even helps her customers after they leave the gym, keeping in touch and sharing info on resources through social channels. For parents, this type of service is critically important and long overdue.
Parents can relax and know it's okay if it's not a perfect day with their kid.
It's awesome that she was able to do all this and create this place that's, just for all the kiddos in the community.
Can we get a round of applause for Jen, please? Please, please. Thank you. You're an amazing woman, Jen. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
What makes our show unique and unlike anything else in daytime is we're telling you the truth. This is the way we feel. We're not sugarcoating an answer just because social media tells us to think this way.
A lot of times it comes back to just that people want to be acknowledged, and we're able to acknowledge our viewers in a very real way.
So God forbid there's a shooting or we landed on Mars. I have someone I'm working through this with.
But one thing I love about DBL is our diversity. You see a panel of people from all different walks of life, and that has helped me shape my perspective.
For multiple hours every single day, we do live television. Well, what are some of the benefits from that? The chemistry developed between the hosts. I mean, you can't buy this.
You don't have time to rehearse. You don't have time to have a second take. You can't edit what you're going to say, so you just have to be off the cuff and let your hair down, so to speak. And I think that is what makes us so unique.
All right, Halloween is tomorrow, and kids are already showing off their creative costumes, so let's take a look. There's this kid who is dressed as a viral Popeye's chicken sandwich. Look how cute.
That's so cute.
These two girls are prizes in a claw machine, and I love these guys dressed as Han Solo and Chewbacca in a mini Millennium Falcon made by their dad.
That's pretty awesome.
Wow. But
That's
I think we
a
have
great
a
dad.
winner. I think
Yes,
I'm
let's
hearing
see
we
it.
have a winner.
Y'all want to see a cute baby?
Yeah, I think this is the winner.
Y'all want to see a cute
Brandon, is this
round of
it?
applause if you want to see a cute baby. Put it on the screen. My niece.
Oh.
That's a cute baby.
So cute.
Is that Eeyore? I thought
that's
someone said
Dumbo.
it's an
No, that's
elephant.
Dumbo. Or is that Eeyore?
Eeyore
No.
was a mule.
Yeah,
No, Eeyore was a
donkey.
depressed donkey and taught me a lot about depression.
Yeah. Well, way to end it on
Way to
depression.
end that, you guys. We'll see you.
We had a
same
cute
time,
baby and now depression.
Same place tomorrow. Bye, y'all.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Erica Cobb, what day is today?
It's Friday.
That's right.
Steph's just having a whole conversation like we're
I'm
not
just checking. Wait, what tea have you got over there?
It smells like peppermint.
Let's do a swapsy. I've got a bit of a posh-looking blackcurrant version.
All right.
That's mine.
There we go. Let's
Thank
do it.
you.
As you can see,
Tea time with Steph.
the mugs are causing a lot of confusion now that we're back to the old ones that aren't clear and see-through.
Yep.
This is why we need the new ones.
All right. It's Friday, but always we're live. In case you guys didn't know, otherwise you would know to see that. That's Stephanie, obviously. That's Brandon. That's Eric. I'm Jeff. Off to a good start, guys. All right. We start with my man, Justin Bieber ain't playing. The singer is calling out the animal rights organization PETA after they started a cat fight over his exotic kittens named Sushi and Tuna. His Instagram post is too good. I got to read the whole thing. This is what Justin would say.
Get him.
PETA, go focus on real problems. I'm JB. Like poaching and animal brutality. He didn't add the JP.
Keep
part.
going, keep going.
You're tripping because I want a specific kind of cat. You weren't tripping when I got my dog Oscar, and he wasn't a rescue. Every pet we get must be a rescue. I believe in adopting rescues, but also think there are preferences, and that's what breeders are for. PETA, go help with all the plastic in the ocean and leave my beautiful cats alone. That sound like JB?
Clap back, baby.
Dude, that was a clap
That
back.
was a
And you know
clap.
what? Good for him.
Yeah.
Listen, I think PETA's a wonderful organization, but sometimes they get a little overzealous and they stick their PETA where it shouldn't belong. You know what I mean?
It's called clout chasing, Jeff.
There you go.
You're trying to push your initiative. You're trying to use someone else's clout to try and get your initiative out. Now, can you adopt savanna cats? Can you adopt exotic animals? No one wants, a guy like that doesn't want your everyday typical house cat. So I can see why he would hire breeders, as long as they're professional breeders and they're responsible breeders. I don't see there being a problem for him spending
And he
all
paid
that
big money
on
for
some-
those.
on
Big
some
money for
kitty,
those.
baby.
So basically, this organisation is saying that over-animal population is a problem and lots of animals are dying, so we all should think about adoption, which I completely agree with, and that's fair enough. But if you have a specific type of breed that you want, you shouldn't be penalised for that. And let's be real, who has a cool 35,000 just to drop in a cat? Not your average Peggy and Sue. So I don't think they need to worry about it. And I think it's very convenient that he just got married and all eyes are on Justin right now.
Yeah.
How convenient when he's had the cats over a month and they've only just said it now.
Yeah, I think they're just pushing their agenda. That's what they're doing.
You don't want to be penalized or pedalized.
Oh.
Meow.
All right, guys. Well, that was fast. Has Miley Cyrus already moved on? Check out this brand new video obtained by TMZ. Miley is caught on cam smooching Australian musician Cody Simpson in Los Angeles. They've been friends for years, but what's up with all that PDA? Does anyone know who Cody Simpson is?
Yes.
He was kind of like a little Bieber. You know, in his day.
Okay.
That's what he was, because he was a singer, he was a young kid. Now, obviously, he's grown up a little bit. So, but I don't think a lot of people know who Cody Simpson is.
Well, so I find this quite interesting, and I'm wondering how this is going to unfold further, because Cody was dating supermodel Gigi Hadid back in 2015.
Oh, wow.
And he broke up with her because he said he couldn't stand the amount of paparazzi that were following him.
Ooh.
He didn't like being in the spotlight. So how long is it going to last with Miley Cyrus? And it makes makes me think, has he really learned his lesson? Did he really mean what he said when he broke up with Gigi? Because it's going to be a whole lot worse with Miley.
Yeah, but let's be honest about it. This isn't going to be some, like, we live happily ever after. Miley got divorced. She realized that she cannot be contained. She wants to be a free bird. God bless her. So she's just, you know, cross-pollinating. I don't know where that came from.
I know where you want to go with this, but we can't say this on daytime or nighttime TV. So I know she's having fun. She's having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I want you to call her out like you called me out for going and being a free bird and having fun, that type of stuff. Don't let her get a pass. Don't let Miley get a pass.
It's different because Miley's very upfront with what she's doing. You acted like you wanted to be doing something different, but really you wanted to be doing what you were doing, which is completely fine, and I appreciate that.
You didn't call me a free bird.
Ben.
Well, no, because you were. You were doing something else.
Go to the next.
Do you think there's like a dig there? Why can't she find? She's got to date an Australian guy.
No,
There's nothing there.
No, come on.
What do you mean? Come on.
What do you mean? It's got nothing to do with him being Australian. He's pretty cute, you know, I'll give him that. But you know what? I think Miley said to whoever filmed her that they were a sneaky ass. And I think, well, whoever filmed it, I mean, come on, they should have got a few hundred for that video. I mean, come on, as if people aren't going to film you. You're Miley Cyrus.
And you're making out at what appears to be
place. Like, come on.
fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Another person from Jersey Shore is in big trouble. Raquel, fill us in on what's going on.
Well, Jeff, Ronnie Ortiz Magro is being accused of chasing his girlfriend with a knife after a drug binge. TMZ posted this video of him being released from jail. You can see him running right there. Police say his girlfriend ran out of their rental screaming for help, saying she had been hit. He allegedly chased her with a knife while holding their baby girl. He then locked himself inside the home and cops had to break the door down. They eventually took him down with a taser. The girlfriend and baby are okay. Ronnie faces kidnapping charges.
Thank you, Raquel. I think he needs to go have a talk with Mike this situation. Not even joking on that one. All right, guys. No one is safe from the PC police, not even Kanye West. Liberals and gay rights activists are upset over a line in one of his songs. It's called Close on Sunday. It's from his upcoming album, Jesus is King. Let's listen.
Don't let them indoctrinate. Closed on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A. This ain't game.
You heard it. He raps, Close on Sunday, you my Chick-fil-A. Are people too sensitive? And Brandon, do you want to read over some more of the lyrics in that song?
Yeah, because once again, I think this company is trying to clout chase, but I just want to read these lyrics from the chorus. It says, closed on Sunday, you're my Chick-fil-A. Closed on Sunday, you're my Chick-fil-A. Hold the selfies, put the gram away. Get your family, y'all hold hands and pray. When you got daughters, always keep them safe. Watch out for vipers, don't let them indoctrinate. Train your sons, raise them in the faith. So I get what he's saying. I don't think he's trying to up or endorse Chick-fil-A. He's just trying to say you're closed on Sundays, which it's the day of the Sabbath. You're not supposed to be working. You're not supposed to be doing anything on Sundays. So I think this is another thing of clout chasing.
First of all, I'm very confused about this Chick-fil-A thing because back in, I think it was 2010, 11, what had to have been around 2011 because I was doing morning radio and I had an endorsement from Chick-fil-A. That meant that I was getting a paycheck every week that I was endorsing this company. And I was happy to do so because honestly at the time, I was like, this is a great company, great product. Okay. Then the whole thing comes out about how they're against LGBTQ. Well, the year before, I was on the cover of Outfront magazine, which is the largest LGBTQ publication west of the Mississippi as the #1 straight ally. How am I supposed to be a straight ally when I'm endorsing a company that is clearly against LGBTQ? So I stopped endorsing it, and it was a big deal. Like, we had HR involved because everyone's like, you have to do this. Then all of a sudden, it was like, Chick-fil-A is fine with us. So I'm confused. Are they okay or are they not okay? Because some people seem to think that they're perfectly fine, and now this organization's coming out and saying they're against LGBTQ.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Somebody needs to tell me.
Well, I don't know the answer to that either, Eric, and I think it's a preference of to each their own, because I know some gay friends that go to Chick-fil-A and it doesn't bother them. They still go there anyway, and I know some people who still support the banning of Chick-fil-A in their lives. So to each their own. But in Kanye's case, he's not mentioning that subject. All he did was say Chick-fil-A. And in other songs, he loves fast food. He mentions McDonald's. He mentions Burger King. He mentions all of them. You know what I mean? So he's not putting them up like you read the rest of those lyrics. He's talking about church, about God, about praise. That's what Sundays, and he cleverly put in Chick-fil-A because they're closed on Sundays. That's my take on it.
And let's be real, what's popular right now? Trump bashing. So Kanye West is it's no secret he's a fan of Donald Trump. So that's how you use that. That's how you say something about that. You go after who's the highest name, who can get you the most retweets when you push your agenda. And by going after Kanye West and saying we're upset, we're mad about this, that's how some other media outlet or other media outlets were talking about it. Why? Because they went after Kanye West, not after Kanye East.
Oh.
Is there a Kanye East?
I don't think so.
Well, in Chicago, he'd be in the lake because that's where Michigan is.
Oh, thanks.
Lake Michigan.
Just learned something.
There we go. Boom. It's Lamar Odom throwing shade at his ex-wife, Khloe Kardashian. Well, you guys be the judge. He posted this transformation pic of his new girlfriend, Sabrina Parr, and captioned it this: all natural and real from the inside out. So is this an underhanded diss at Khloe Kardashian, or is this just a compliment for his girlfriend?
I think it's a compliment. I mean, right, if you just pull up that picture one more time, please, if we can. She's worked really hard. Her body is looking amazing.
She does look great.
She looks honestly wonderful, and she clearly has worked very, very hard for that, so kudos for her. Lamar and Khloe have been on very good terms. Like, she's been there for him at his lowest times, he says that, so I don't think he would throw that back in her face. I just don't think he would.
I think, initially it does sound like a dig when you put it like side by side with Khloe Kardashian. But realistically, he's also living a very high profile life, and who is that?
Oh, that was Khloe. So the last few days, her face has changed really drastically. Over the last 4 days in particular, we don't really know why. Could it be makeup? Could it be more fillers? Could it be more Botox in that forehead? I'm not sure how much it can take. I'm not really sure. I mean, look. Wait, did you see the big ponytail picture? I don't know if we've got that where she's wearing pink and the big ponytail. That's either so digitally altered or she just looks like a different person. But each to their own. If that's what makes you happy, that's
okay. It's shade.
Steph,
I got it. It's shade.
She posted these in the last week, you're saying? And then Lamar posted this today?
I'm seeing the good in people.
He posted it this week too.
I'm seeing the good in Lamar, and I believe that Khloe was there for him when he did some pretty bad things to her, and she was the one at his bedside, and he said she was his angel. So if he's turned around and said that to be mean, more shame on him.
I hear you.
I'm hoping it's not true.
I want to be on your side with this one because he posted the before and after of his girlfriend, and she does look amazing in the before and after.
Yeah.
But if someone posted those ridiculous pictures, if that was my ex-girlfriend, and you look like a circus clown, I might throw in there a little shade too.
I'm with Erica. She looks like a clown.
What does she look like? She doesn't look real. She doesn't look real.
But if that's what makes her happy, we should be happy for her. If she wants to do that, she should be able to do that.
All right, well, yeah, if you want to just put on filters and be fake, do you, boo. DBL is live, and coming up, co-host Tori Shulman goes one-on-one with the man behind the voice of Forky, Tony Hale from Toy Story 4. Find out how he brought the lovable character to life in Chatting with the Stars. And what's the deal with these hairstyles? Stephanie gives her take on Fashion Fix Friday next.
Welcome back to DBL. I'm Stephanie Jones, DBL's fashion expert, and it's the part of the show where I bring you the top fashion headlines and I let you know how I really feel about it. And we found out this week that Forever 21 is going bankrupt and that 350 stores will be closing. Cue the sad music. R.I.P. Forever 21. You were a store where logic did not exist. Blue jeans were $10. Shirts said strange things like, I love Netflix and Jesus. And I'm mourning by remembering their weird clothes. The only only Forever 21 could get away with selling, like these sunflower cat ears, because why the hell not invite bees to sting at your face? Or these atrocious pom-pom shoes that are not only completely impractical, but they cut off your circulation too. What a steal. And finally, what else could anyone wish for? I know, obviously this velvet crop top with Tupac's face all over it. Farewell, Forever 21. Your unique and terrible style shall live on in my nightmares. And next, we've got Paris Fashion Week, which wrapped up on Tuesday. And yes, I could talk about the new fall trends, but let's be honest, it's boring. So let's check out the insane hair models that they rocked on the runway instead. With looks like these, who needs clothes? You've got Edward Scissorhands, Marge Simpson, and good old toilet paper face. Just a reminder that fashion is not all glitz and glamour, it's outright ridiculous too. And you know what else is not ridiculous? The new cover of Essence magazine. It features Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and Miss America. It's the first time ever all three titles have been held by black women at the same time. So let's give a shout out to these beautiful women for breaking barriers and taking titles in the meantime. They're killing it. That's been another edition of Fashion Fix Friday. And coming up next on DBL, Tony Hale from Veep is on DBL. He tells our own Tori Shulman how the cast reacted to Julia Louis-Dreyfus losing her Emmy in Chatting with the Stars. It's coming up next.
Everyone, I want you to meet Forky.
Golly, Bob Howe. Look how long his arms are.
Trash? No, toys. They're all toys.
Trash.
No matter how old you are, Toy Story 4 is hilarious. Isn't that right, Jeff? Yeah, he's got kids. And a big reason is because of the new toy Forky. And that's voiced by actor Tony Hale. Now, co-host Tori Shulman caught up with the Veep actor in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Tony Hale, welcome to Daily Blast Live. Were you aware, by the way, Tony, of how many adult fans love Forky? So I wanted to read some tweets to get your reaction. Quote, Forky is the best, the end, the anxiety icon. Or I don't know who is the most relatable character, Bo Peep, strong and independent, Woody, refuses to ask for help, or Forky, trash.
You know, I was very overwhelmed even to be asked to be in this movie.
Right.
Forky's very overwhelmed. He sees the world very simply. He asks a lot of questions. You know, he's kind of in the middle of his own existential crisis where people are like, hey, Forky, and he's like, here's the deal. I'm a spork. So let's establish that. I don't know why you're calling me Forky.
So he's gender identified with a different cutlery.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he's like, you know, I was made to help people eat and go to the trash, so I don't know why you're calling me a toy.
Oh, man.
But Woody comes along and he's like, listen, you're made for more. You have purpose. You are worthy to be loved and to love. And it's just like, oh, God, who doesn't want to hear that, you know?
I fork and love it. Now, you're a dad to a 13-year-old who you say she's embarrassed by everything you do. Would she be more embarrassed by your
Everything
Mr. Roboto commercial? Or the time when things got revealing on Sex and the City with Kim Cattrall.
She hasn't seen a lot of my work. She hasn't seen Veep, and she won't until she's in her middle age. No, but it was fun to be able to share a Toy Story with her.
That's awesome.
Because she grew up on that franchise, and so it was neat it was cool to have her see her dad in that.
Veep just ended forever. Were you surprised when Julia Louis-Dreyfus didn't win Best Actress in a Comedy, especially because she could have made Emmy history?
I mean, I'm such a huge Julia Louis-Dreyfus fan, so I think she should win everything she goes out for.
You're right. Out of all the roles that you've had, and they're really some of the most well-written comedic roles ever, which one was your favorite, if you had to say?
They're all so different.
Yeah.
I think probably just because it's so fresh.
Yeah.
On Veep, we got really close.
Yeah.
And so I just loved the whole process because it was a real kind of free environment where you were free to like throw out ideas even if they were bad.
Right.
I had the time of my life.
It's like a family situation almost.
Yeah, it really was, and that's what you want.
Thank you so much, Tony Hale. You're amazing.
Oh, perfect. Great.
Such an honor to
Thanks,
talk
Tori.
to you anytime. And bye, brother.
Bye, sister.
Bye.
Great interview, Tori, and thank you, and good luck to you, Tony. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Welcome back to DBL. Well, guys, a Hollywood icon has passed away. Diahann Carroll, an Oscar-nominated actress and singer, has died. She was just 84 years old. She was the first black woman to star in her own TV series as Julia and is well known for her role on Dynasty.
Wow. You know, Diahann Carroll, I wouldn't be sitting here at this seat, at this table today if it wasn't for Diahann Carroll. She opened up so much for black women to be looked at with respect and dignity and style and grace. She refused to do roles that were very caricature type roles, like The Servant, like The Help. She wanted to be seen just like her white counterparts, and she excelled and rose to a level of fame that and any of us could only imagine, and I'm so grateful to her for her legacy and all the doors that she opened.
And to do that when she did back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
And
that's
even
called fearless.
Interracial relationships, Erica. She married Vic Damone, you know, like back in the day. Just think of how people looked at that. So, yeah.
Well, may she rest in power. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.